All right, to get started, I'm going to navigate to sensitive data protection. And the first thing I'm going to do is create an inspect template under configuration. So I have inspect and de-identify templates. First I want inspect to look at the types of info, and then de-identify to transform it. So starting with inspect, I go to create a template. And in this case, it's mostly for finding PII. Now in terms of info types, I have over 200 options, but some of those are not going to be relevant to my use case, right? Depending on the geography I'm in and what types of data I'm going to be handling, I really want to focus on the things that are the most relevant to me, right? So I'm going to first search for the geo that I'm in this case the US. Social security number, that's a good one. I could also look at things like different types of names. And I can search by name or description, right? Especially if I'm new to this, I may want to look for, different types based on just the description. Right? So for example, I could search for phone number through many different ways. Once I have that list, I'm going to go down and I'll skip confidence thresholds, but for rule sets, I could get very fine-grained and set a list of hot words using regex. I'm going to create my inspect template, and now I'm going to create some de-identify templates to say what I'll do if I detect sensitive data. So for info type, I'm going to create one template for unstructured data. Right? This could be like a message from a customer or a letter or an email. But either way, since it's free form and I don't really know what to expect, I'm, in this case, going to replace with the info type name, just so that I know why data was identified and concealed. And this would be any detected info types defined in my template, right? So I can just test this out to see what it would look like, again using my inspect template. And I'll just write a message. And as you can see, it's able to start picking out the PII. Let's just try social security number. Okay, great. So you can see it's telling me why this information was concealed. Okay, now I'm going to create another de-identify template based on structured data, right? So a CSV or table, any data set that is where I know the location of the potential sensitive data, right? So if I have a field called SSN or credit card number or name, I know that that's probably going to contain something sensitive. So I can kind of preempt my template to focus on those particular fields. In this case, I'm going to replace. And it'll just say redacted. Now for dates, my developer may want to modify those dates or manipulate them in some way, right? They may have a reason for the testing to keep the data in that format. So instead of saying redacted, I'm going to do a date shift. So it still is in date form, it's just not the actual date. And just to give an example, again using my inspect template, but this time using some CSV fluff, you can see that it's redacting names, it's redacting social security numbers. The date, however, is changed. So here it's like May 5th, March 4th. Here it's March 5th, March 14th, right? So it's changing the dates. And then for the colors, it's changing the colors, or actually it's keeping the colors the same. Right? Colors are not PII favorite colors. All right. And then finally, I want to do one for images. And you can see I can change the redaction color. And I'm going to do it on any detected info types, right? This, who knows what could be added to images. You also have the option to do any text whatsoever. So if there's not supposed to be text, you may just want to go ahead and redact it. Okay, so now that I have these 3 different de-identify templates, I am ready to create an inspect job. Now to do that, I will name it based on my use case. So in this case, when devs upload to a bucket, I'm going to be focused on Google Cloud Storage, and I'll say the entire bucket. I have my input bucket. I'm going to bring my scan to 100%, so every single row will be scanned. I'm not just doing sampling, right? This is to be totally comprehensive, and I'm doing pretty much every type of file. You can see I can customize this quite a bit. I'll be adding my inspect template. Let me grab that. PII Finder. And then I'm going to make a de-identified copy. Then for my de-identification template, I'm going to put in the unstructured one. For structured template, structured, image. And then finally, I'll have a separate bucket just for the output. You have different options with when to do the scans. Okay, and then this is the final configuration that I can copy for if I'm automating some of this down the road. Right, now I'm going to run the actual job. This may take some time, so I'll get back to you once it's done. All right, so now you can see we've done 4,496 findings with 1,808 transformations. And if I look in images, I just want to show you what the input was first. So you can see, yeah, we have a social security number, email, phone, lots of things to remove. And let me show you what the input was for CSV as well. Or sorry, for some logs. You can see the logs had PII in them. And also the CSVs. Yeah, so you can see email addresses. The employee email addresses I don't care too much about, but the user ID ones I do. Right? So now let's take a look at the output. So first, those CSVs. That's where there was a lot of juicy stuff. Okay. So you can see I kept the employee email, but I redacted the user ID. And then also all the PI in the messages, social security number, email address, and so forth, has all been redacted. Right, and if I look at this file again, you'll see that I've redacted everything in the image that was sensitive to. And that's it. Thank you.